Welcome to qnawire.
In the first 12, each graph is a slight variation on the graph of one of the 12 basic functions. Match the graph to one of the 12, A through L. I'm going to skip this just for time reasons, the checking on the calculator, but I'll leave that to you. First, we have a version that is a cubic. So the cubic function plus 1 would go with E. Then any v-shaped is an absolute value function, that's g. Here we have a negative square root function. The square root function you want to be able to recognize visually, so that's j. And then we have a periodic function, and that would be a negative sign because it goes to 0 and then goes negative, so that would be a. Then we have a linear function, that would be I. We have a quadratic function, so that's a squared function. This would be f. Shifted to the right one. Then we have a step function, greatest integer function, that is k. Then we have a reciprocal function, negative 1 over x, that would be h. Then we have another cubic or a squared function, or cubic function, sorry. This would be the left 2, and so that would be d. And we have an exponential function, that would be more like e to the x minus 2, so this would be c. 11 looks like a cube root function. Which I don't see. And so that must be L. Must look like this too. And then we have a cosine function, because it starts at a positive, or starts at a maximum. That would be a positive cosine, so that would be B. Go ahead and check the 2 minus 4 over 1 plus e to the negative x. And that absolutely is this one. So this is L and number 11. The function whose domain excludes 0. Well, you can't divide by 0. So which one excludes 0 would be 8. Your list, you're identifying which of the exercises of 12 before fit the description. The function whose domain consists of all non-negative real numbers, so everything is positive and is going to stay positive in the domain. So the domain is non-negative. That is 3. The domain is not negative. The two functions that have at least one point of discontinuity, well, that would be 8 and 7, where it's not continuous. The function that is not a continuous function would be 7. The 6 functions that are bounded below, and the 4 functions that are bounded above. So the 6 functions bounded below honestly not sure. I might be missing something for these two, so I'm going to skip over those. Which of the 12 basic functions, which of the 4 are odd? The 4 functions that are odd, it has to be symmetric about the origin. And so that would be 4, 5, 11, and 7. No particular order. The 6 functions that are increasing over their entire domains, left to right, that would be 1, 8. 8 is increasing the whole time. 9, 10. Increasing over the whole domain. I think it's just 4 of them, not 6. Oh, the basic functions. Okay. I'm going to just say them. So the 4 basic functions that are odd are the cube function, the reciprocal function, the linear function, and the step function, the greatest integer function. The 6 functions that increase among their whole domains would be the cube function, the linear function, the reciprocal function, the exponential function. I think I got them all. The square root function would as well. The 3 functions that are decreasing on the interval from negative infinity to 0 would be the quadratic function, the absolute value function, and oh, I already said the 3. The 3 functions with infinitely many local extrema would be the sine function, the cosine function. Those are the 2 main ones. No zeros. That would be the greatest, or not the greatest integer function, but the reciprocal function would be one of them. The rest can have a 0 if you manipulate them, so I'm not quite sure I'm fully understanding that, unless it's just talking about yeah. And the 3 functions with a range of all real numbers would be the linear function, the cubic function, and the any odd degree is going to do that as well. Linear, if I didn't say that. All right. I know I was kind of talking through the last bit of it, and you might have tuned it out at this point, which is fine, but hopefully I got you through the main meat of this matching part. Hope that helps. Good luck to you.